My name is Sowers, and this is my oral presentation on women doing business in Japan. And this is my audience. And I'm here to do my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation for Dory Lundy, who's the president of Computech and is trying to expand her business internationally. Here's my presentation. Women doing business in Japan. The first thing I want to discuss is what is acceptable to wear. The best word to sum up what to wear in Japan would be conservatively. First, you want to wear dark colors like a traditional dark blue or dark gray or black. And you also want to dress to impress because the Japanese do judge by what you wear. To them, how better you look or how formal you are is showing your social or corporate status. You do want to wear little to no accessories, no big earrings or no big chunky necklaces. And your hair should be pulled back or it should be short. Also, you would like to wear lower heels, not spiked heels. And because the Japanese customs are to constantly slip on and off your shoes, it is a good idea to find something that is easy to slip on and off, therefore you won't have any problems doing so. Some of the business don'ts you want to stay away from are wearing all black. Just like in America, wearing all black is considered funeral attire. Also, you want to refrain from wearing pants or casual clothing. Although pants are slowly being accepted, it's still better to dress as formal as possible. You also do not want to show a lot of skin, any low-cut blouses or short skirts, because they are a modest country and they do believe in not showing skin. Lastly, you don't want to wear very high heels and tower over the other businessmen. That seems to make them feel uncomfortable. So you want to make sure you have something lower. One difference about Japan is, although they are accepting women into the business culture, they still, the only difference is they don't bring the women out for nighttime entertainment. So a woman would not be asked to go out to any of the karaoke bars or any other type of thing at night. Other than that, they do treat women as considered honorary men and do deal with them with no problem. One of the most important customs of business in Japan is the ceremony of the business card. One of the facts of the business card is they called business cards mishi. Once again, it is one of the most important customs that they perform before a meeting can even start. And it's a good idea if you have at least 200 cards, therefore you don't run out of something or there's a problem. And it's a good idea to put them in a nice case just to impress the other Japanese businessmen. And you also would like to have it printed in English on one side and Japanese on the other. Now, there's certain ways you want to exchange the business cards. When you do exchange them, you do want to do it with both hands with a Japanese writing on top. And you also, when you receive the business cards, you want to do so with both hands. While you're receiving it, thank the giver for the card. And instead of just putting it away like you would in America, you do want to admire the card intently, looking at the detail, trying to remember who it is, because it is a show of respect in Japan. They highly admire these cards, and they do hold on to them for a long time. They put them in photo albums, and they will keep them forever. When you are done, you do not want to put them away. What you want to do is put it on the table or your briefcase in front of you with the senior member of the groups on top. Important things to remember not to do would be put the card in the pocket when you receive it. You don't want to write on the business card, as they consider this defacing and disrespectful. or crumple up the business card and throw it away. That's a big no-no. Remember, this is very important because if you do one of these things, this could cost you landing any type of business. The next thing I would like to go over is the greeting. Now, everyone knows in Japan, it's customary to bow. So if you decide that you would like to bow back, one thing to remember is you want to bow as long and as low as you were bowed to, unless your counterpart is higher in rank. If he is, then you want to bow lower to show respect. When you do so, you want to keep your eyes down. And you also want to keep your palms to your side. But if you choose not to bow, that's totally acceptable. Japanese understand that there's customs that we're not used to, so they are totally fine if you just want to shake hands. Next is where to sit in a business meeting. It's a little bit different than in America. Now, the seating is done like everything else in Japan, is done by hierarchy. First, wherever you go, you don't want to just sit down and find a place. You want to make sure that the senior member is first seated, and then you can follow so after him. Same for when the meeting's over. Wait for him to rise, and then you can also rise. But unlike the American business customs, the highest ranking senior member is not put at the head of the table like a president of the company would be, or a CEO. They actually will be seated in the middle of the table, then having the other protocols, the next hierarchy, one after that. And the lowest one is usually seated closest to the door. Another difference is showing expression in Japan. The Japanese are very uncomfortable showing different forms of expression, unlike the Americans. One thing is you don't want to be having any or showing any facial expressions like smiling or frowning or anything like that. You pretty much want to sit there and keep quiet and be polite. Do not be confrontational or get angry or try to call somebody out on something. And if they do close their eyes and are quiet, it's not that they are falling asleep or that they're being disrespectful. In Japan, this is something that they do to kind of reflect on what has been said or what has been maybe proposed. And also, you do not want to hug or touch or slap somebody on the back. You know, that's just something that might be okay in America, but it's not okay in Japan. Next is saving face. How to save face. Japanese do not believe in using the word no, and they will avoid it even if they want to say no. They will still say yes. So what you want to do if they ask you to do something or if they have a request, you never want to say no. What you might want to say is something like it's under consideration, which they would find that pleasing because to them they do everything in groups. They don't do things as individuals like we do in America. So they would think that if you said it was being under consideration that you were asking other senior members of your group, and they find that very pleasing. So they would be happy with that. You do not want to put anybody on the spot and ask them something that, you know, you may not know the answer to. And you don't want to definitely insult anybody or put something down in front of the Japanese businessmen. They don't like that either. The last would be gift giving. And this also is another important business custom in Japan. What you want to do is if you decide to bring a gift, which is a good idea, you don't have to necessarily bring on the first trip, but maybe the second trip. But when you give something, you want to show something that reflects your hometown. Like something that's locally made, or if your town is known for something, like if you're from New York, you might want to bring something from Broadway, or something special that reflects where you're from in America. Or if you want to buy something like a high quality wine or liquor, that's also acceptable. If you do bring gifts, it is looked down if you just bring one gift. So you want to find something that maybe you can have for everybody to share. And then you want to give the senior member something special because it also shows respect if you give him something different. Just like the business cards, if you receive a gift or give a gift, you want to do so with both hands. And it's a good idea to maybe have it wrapped from a Japanese hotel or somebody else because there are certain colors they use and different things that they might do that we don't do. So it's a good idea, just on the safe side, to have somebody else wrap it for you. And also the gifts are open in private. And what this is for is because if the gift is something that is in poor taste, it is saving face for whoever gave the gift. That way they don't feel bad for what they've done or what they have given. The things you do want to avoid giving are flowers, because flowers do mean different things in Japan, so it's a good idea just to stay away from them. Making any type of homemade food is also a good idea not to bring. And interestingly, you don't want to bring something that is sharp and pointed, like scissors or letter openers or knives, something of that nature, because what it signifies to them is the sever of a relationship. So it's kind of a bad idea to bring something like that. And that's my presentation. I appreciate all your attention. Thank you.